Guys, I am going to do a quick 5-minute review about G2A Loot. I was browsing the web for a couple of video games that I wanted to get, and G2A is actually a pretty good website for that. Um, I actually do a review on G2A.com later on, but for now, let's focus on the G2A Loot side of things. So the way that this basically works is you have a couple boxes, right, that you can open. They charge you money. You have to pay for points, and you can use these points to open any of these boxes. It's comparable to gambling, I would say, because you actually click on this and you open it, and you might get one of these games. There's a couple of these games that you might actually want. Like this one's a really good one. I've tried it, and this one I have tried it as well. This one's pretty good as well. It's a AAA games, as you can see, and you might get one of these, but you might also get one of these. A lot of these are actually pretty good, but a lot of them are not known as much, mainly because they're indie games. I like GTA Loot the fact that it gives exposure to these indie games to be shown into the public eye. Because when people go ahead and try to get a AAA game, but they end up getting, for example, a indie cyber detonator game, uh, you basically are able to try it out, and since you already have it, it's yours. But if you enjoy it, you can talk to other friends about it, and people who created the game, the developers, would actually get exposure. That's the positive side of things. Some of the positives. Another positive would be that the chances that you might get this are not bad at all. I would say. I haven't gotten any AAA games, but if you do, you'll feel so great because even though you spent like way less than what they're worth, you still get your money's worth for what you spend. The cool thing is that the loot points actually aren't that expensive. I think you can get 100 for I believe about $10 last time I checked. They change the prices every once in a while, but they're not that expensive. They're not as expensive as if you would buy a AAA game, for example, this one or this one. As you can see, the prices are in euros, but they're in a different currency than the U.S. currency, than dollars. But you can actually just buy the points with dollars, and they actually take credit cards or debit cards for within the U.S. Uh, as you can see here, it also tells you how rare or common or what is the probability of you getting the game basically, and that kind of gives you like a little gauge where you can see if there's a good chance for you getting the game. So these are pretty cool features of this G2A Loot. Free test. Let's try it out. And this is basically what it looks like. As you can see, we got a common game. Rotary Farming Mode. Honestly, I haven't heard of this game before, but I would be down to try it out if this was a real one, a real run. The cool thing also is that there's plenty of boxes to choose from, and it tells you the price of the games that there is. For example, let's try to go back. Let's see other boxes. The one that we tried, I think it was one of these, the cheaper ones. But there's this one, the Master Chess, for example. The value is there, as you can see. There's some really good games in there, so you should definitely check it out if you're looking through here. You should at least try it once, I would say, because you can get, for example, San Andreas. That one's an amazing game, I would say. Um, in my opinion, there's a lot of good games here, but this loot box, as I can see, maybe I wouldn't try it right away because they do change the games every once in a while, from what I've seen. And Rome is a pretty good game, so I would definitely try it just for that, to get that game. I could also buy it. You could also have that option. One negative that I would say, one of the biggest negatives of this G2A Loot is the fact that you can actually get a little bit addicted to it. It's very easy. They make it extremely easy for you to be able to purchase points and just spend them. It's kind of like gambling, like I said before. And it's funny because if you let yourself go, you can get addicted to these things. For example, if you're already addicted to gambling, you can actually get pretty easily hooked on this G2A Loot. And that's basically my perspective. These are the payment methods that they take as well, in case you have other accounts. There's quite a bit of other ones. You can share what you got as well, so there's a social media aspect to it. And yeah, that's my short review. Overall, I would recommend it, just to try it a couple times like I did. But I actually got a couple common games which I'm still to try. I would recommend it, but please don't get hooked on it. I don't recommend you get addicted to this type of gambling, because games are addicted by themselves and gambling is addicted by themselves. You combine them, you get G2A Loot, and I would not recommend you get addicted to this. Thank you for watching, guys.